بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله أما بعد. I greet you again. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our Thursday evening presentation on the Quran. We're still looking at chapter 16. Today we're looking at chapter 16, verse 126. And we'll try to cover the three level of classes that we have. The first level is conjugation. We have a class that has started with the conjugation, and then we have a class that look at conjugation and the 10 forms. We have a third class looking at ragib, and then we have the higher class looking at all of the sources that we're looking at today, looking at grammar, ragib, and Ibn Arabi, and the Imam, researching the Imam. And our research is contrasting the Imam with Ibn Arabi. We research to find the logical statements from the Imam that goes along with the verse and the logic, making a contrast with Ibn Arabi. So we have a few classes that's on each level. So this is Mali, this is the Mali system. And when you come into Mali now, you come in starting with only those that can read words, and you start with conjugation, and you move from there. Now, let us begin here with chapter 16, verse 126. And let me get my pen ready. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa'in aqattum. And if aqattum, this is the word we're going to be looking up. This is one of the key words in the verse. Aqattum. Fa'aqibu. So if you were, or you had, aqattum. This is you, masculine plural, past tense, form 3. Form 3 shows reciprocity, something that's going on between two people, two things, two entities, what have you. Aqattum. Then he says, fa'aqibu. Fa'aqibu is again form 3, and this is because it ends in a wild aleph, it's going to be either they, masculine plural, or it's going to be you, masculine plural, they, masculine plural, past tense, or you, masculine plural, command. If there's a fatha here, it will be they, masculine plural, past tense. With the kasra here, it's going to be you, masculine plural, command. The fatha and the kasra makes the difference. So if you were, if you have become aqattum, if you are aqattum, fa'aqibu, then aqibu. If you're same word, be mentally by the example of ma what? Uqibtum. Now it changes to the passive. When you have a dhamma on the first letter, and you have a a kasra on the middle letter, it's going to be passive. And the sukoon tune is going to be you, masculine plural. Because past tense, when you say a sukoon with that tune added, it's going to be you, masculine plural. It's going to be past tense, it's going to be passive, and it's going to be form 3, passive. That's why you have the wow here. This wow is replacing the aleph for the sound, the oo sound. Uqibtum. So if you are aqattum, we're not going to translate now. We're going to go back and put the translation in once we look at the ragib and see what the definition is. We'll put it back into the verse. That's how we began writing a reflection. We're not looking for word to word translation. That may be a phrase this word may represent a phrase. We put it all in through reflection, and then we make it make sense. So if you're akaptum, then akibu bimithli. That's the example of what? Ukiptum, you were ukipt. If you have attained, if you are akaptum, then akibu, the same as what you were akibu by it. Wala'in, and if sabartum, and this is another word we're going to look at, sabartum. And if you were sabr, lahuwa khayrun lissabirin. Then it says if, like in, this lamb is going to respond to the condition if. Then if, surely if, you sabartum, you were sabr in the situation, lahuwa, then it is khayrun, it is better. It is good, you could say, or it is better. Lissabirin, for the person who sabartum. For those who are sabartum, sabr, it's better, it's better, it's better. Now, those of you, I'm talking to Mali students. So Mali students, you have to stay with me on what I'm saying. Those of you not in the class, you may get lost a little. But just pay attention, stay with it, and you'll get the benefits of listening. So if you were, then akibu, then command. Then ukiptum, past tense passive. Wala'in sabaratum, the past again. Same you. This you is the same you back here. Then lahuwa khayru lissabirin, for those who ever were sabaratum. This is the we're not into the nouns. One of the classes, we know this, the active noun. Sabirin, the active noun. Okay, I won't get into the grammar. The grammar is pretty straightforward. We're just looking at a couple of things for the classes, the new classes. So let's look at the first, akaptum. We're talking about this word here, akaptum. Akaptum here, and then we say akibu here, and then we say ukiptum. This first part. So we highlight it. So now, el akibu. This is the internal noun. The internal noun that's going to give us the definition, the root meaning of akaptum. So el akibu, we still don't translate it, is mu'akharu ar-rajuli. It is the delay, we can say the delay or the rearing of the man, coming up in the rear. The delay, something that's being delayed, or we say coming up in the rear of man. That's the original meaning. He says, وَاسْتُعِيرَ, and it is borrowed, el-ikabu, and el-akibu. El-akibu is borrowed. It is borrowed, we could say, or used for, or it is the, we could say, a metaphor for lil waladi, for the son. For the son, where waladi, el waladi, and the son of the son. The son of the father and the son of the son. Who succeeds, they come behind. One comes behind the other. This is the first idea. One who comes behind the other. You have the son, and then you have the son of the son. The father, the son of the son, the son of that son. It continues. So if you're coming up, if you are succeeding someone, because it's in form 3. So if you're the successor in the reciprocity, then succeed with the example of what you were succeeded by it. Yes. Now, Allah says, Qala ta'ala, He said the Most High, وَجَعَلَهَا, and we made it kalimatan baqiyatan. We made it a lasting word. It remains. A remaining word. A lasting word that still remains. Fi akibihi. In the son of the son of the son. And continue on. In his succession, we could say. La'allahum, in order that, or perhaps that, yarji'un, they will return. They return. Or they will return. Giving you the idea of akibu. It's showing that someone is following or succeeding someone else. In this succession, be the same as you will be succeeded. Ukiptum. Now, another part of the definition, this is what he gives, el-ukubatu wal-mu'aqabatu wal-ikabu. These are all internal nouns. These are internal nouns. He said, yahtasu. It specifies el-adabi, punishment. It specifies punishment. So now we can put punishment in it. If we put the two together, the idea of being in succession and the idea of punishment. So if you are succeeding and punished in the situation of punishing, you're the successor now, and you could punish. Then punish with the example of what you were punished, by what you were punished. If we put it here, one people we could say following another, and maybe I'll give examples today, or maybe I'll do it later in the questions and answers. We have questions and answers that will start at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time after this presentation. You may take a week to look it over and come and ask questions. Again, I'm talking to the Mali students specifically. If you have the information to get into the webinar and on the phone, webinar, what have you, then anyone is welcome. Now, on this part, let's look at Ibn Arabi. On this part, he's saying, وَإِنْ أَعْقَبْتُمْ. Now, after this comment that he's making goes back into the parentheses here to learn how to read the tafsir. And many of the tafsirs are like this. He's going to put this in parentheses, so everything goes back to us in parentheses. That way, you know what's going on. You know what he's talking about. It's easy to learn a foreign language, understand a foreign language, when you know what the person is talking about. He's talking about in akaptum. He's talking about succession, and he's talking about punishment. Succession and punishment, that's in this idea here. So if you have come into this situation of succeeding and punishing, and this is etc. until the end. That is to say, ilzamu. Ilzamu, he's saying that is to say, adhere. Adhere to sayrata al-adalati. Adhere to the course, or take the course of justice. You have come and succeeded. Those that come before you, and you're in a position to punish. So if you're going to punish according to no more than what you were punished. But here he's saying, take the course of justice, whether fadilati and virtue. La tujar wizuha, la tujar wizuha, and do not exceed it. Do not exceed the course of justice and virtue. This is very, very important for the African American in particular, because I'm always talk to my own people first, my own group first, before I go outside the group. Throughout the world, we can show examples of this. Allah is speaking to the whole humanity. He's speaking to the whole humanity with this verse. فَإِنَّهَا, for surely it, أَقَلُّ دَرَجَاتِ كَمَالِكُمْ, it is the least of degrees of your perfection. If you do not follow justice and fadila, justice and virtues, and do not and go beyond, it is the least of the degree of your perfection. You reaching the level of perfection. And this is something we talked about in one of the classes. You can underline it, make a note, ask the question about this, and I can elaborate more. I don't want to elaborate on everything I come across. It would take too much time. All of these presentations I'm making on Thursdays is really a foundation to make it for public addresses. And also, it's the foundation for the project I'm working on, comparing Ibn Arabi with Imam W. Muhammad. But I can turn these into a good hour or more in making public addresses, if I was doing that. فَإِن كَانَ لَكُمْ خَدَمٌ, and if you had qadamun, a foot, if you had a foothold, just a foothold, if it was for you, if you just had a foothold in fi al-futuwati, in noble-heartedness. So you're in a position now, you were punished. Let me give you the scene so you won't get lost. You were punished. Now you have succeeded those who punished you, and now you're in a position to punish. And perhaps punish those who punished you. You got the higher upper hand now. So if you have a foothold in noble-heartedness, and irqin rasikhin, and we could say a rasik is a firm. This is the adjective describing this. First word is rasik. Rasik is firm, to be firm. And you have a firm root. Firm root. If you have a foothold, just a foothold, in noble-heartedness and a firm root, fi al-fadli, and a firm root in al-fadli, in distinction, superiority, and even the same word is coming from virtue. Yes. Well, karami, and generosity, liberality or generosity, superiority, distinction, if you have a firm foothold in this. Well, muru'ati, and a sense of honor. If you have all of this, and you're in this position, fatruku el-intisara, then leave off el-intisara wel-intikame. These two words have the connotation of revenge. Leave off, omit revenge. Don't let revenge come into your heart. Mimman, from the one who jana alaykum, who committed the crime against you. Someone has committed a crime against you. And now you have the upper hand to punish them But if you're noble-hearted, if you're generous, if you're kind, a person with high virtues, now firmly rooted in this, then you would omit revenge, having revenge for the one who committed a crime against you. This is something that needs to be heard. This is justice. We're talking about justice. This is Sayyarata al-Adala. This is the course of justice. Not revenge. And to mete out justice, you have to be, perhaps your soul or your heart will be in the condition of noble-heartedness, generous, virtuous, kind, a sense of honor. We can go to the life of the prophet and give examples. Praise and peace be upon him. Well, Ali do who? And turn away from them. Turn away from him, the one who committed the crime. Bil afwi, with pardon. Pardon ma'al kudrati, with power. Wasbiru. And be patient. And be patient ala al-jinayati, upon the crime. Be patient with the crime. Sabiru. We're going to look at this word sabiru. I'm saying patient because that's the word we normally hear. For sabiru ala al-jinayah. You may still be affected by the crime that was committed upon you. You still see the influence of the crime, but you're in a position now. The position you're in now, with the power that you have now, you pardon it. فَإِنَّهُ لَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لِلصَّابِرِينَ. For surely it is better. لِلصَّابِرِينَ. فَإِصْبِرُوا. Then be patient for those who are patient. But we're going to look a little more into this word. We start putting these verses together. Trust in Allah. We talked about trust Allah. This is a comment on the Quran. Do we trust it? So we have the next word, as-sabru. Sabru. Sabru el-imsaku fi dikin. It is to imsak. Imsak is to take hold of, to restrain, put yourself in check. Fi dikin. In an oppressed situation. Fidik. In an oppressed situation. If we keep the context, in a crime, something is being done to you, punishing. A punishing situation you've been put in, that's an oppressive situation. Then sabr is to keep yourself in check. Keep yourself together in that situation. Also, he's defined, this is Ragib now. This is Ragib defining the word. He's giving you the root. That's the root of sabr. When you're in a tight situation, you're in a tight situation, don't fall apart. Keep yourself together. Hold on. Also, he's saying, as-sabru, hapsu an-nafsi. Hapsu an-nafsi. And this, we can say, is the checking of the soul. Hapsu an-nafsi, the checking of the soul, ala man upon what yaqtadihi al-aqlu wa shar'u. We say the subject of this is the verb. We're going to say the subjects first. The intellect and the law. The law of nature, the universal law, requires of it. Check the soul. If the sabru is checking the soul upon what the intellect and the law requires of it. So we take that and we say, be patient. But we can take this and put it in, go back to the verse and put this in the verse. Put the whole statement in the verse. So it is better for the one who can put themselves in check, the self, the soul in check, upon what the intellect and the law requires of it. We take that and put the one who does that. So put yourself in check. That's better. That's better for you. While within the circumstance of being restricted, confined, deep, oppressed. We're putting the two together. Now he's going to explain. He's going to comment on what's here, and he's going to be talking about the Sabirin. Ni tasjili. He said this tasjili is to record or register upon them. Those who are sabirin, those who are able to put themselves in check, it's being recorded upon them, bilmati, for the recording upon them, bilmati, with praise, with ta'veen, and glorification. Bisifati as-sabri, by the description, the quality of sabri. It's a quality, sifa, of the soul, a quality of the self, to have sabr. And it's going to be recorded and registered on the soul, the sabr. He says, فَإِنَّا, we say because, surely asabira, the one who is patient, the one who's able to check himself, according to the intellect and law, and what it requires of him, the one who's able to do that, taraqa an maqami nafs, then it raises him, it elevates him, it evolves him to the station of the soul, in a station of the soul, to a higher station of the soul. وَقَابَلَ فِعْلَ نَفْسِ صَاحِبِهِ, and he is met with the action of the soul of his associate, the one who has punished him before. You see the reciprocal nature. With the one, you can say his adversary, his assailant. Bisifati al-qalbi, by the quality, the description, the attribute of the heart. By the heart. The heart, he meets the action. See, you rise in your state. You rise in your station to a higher station of the soul, of yourself. To a noble station, a virtuous station, the words that we discussed earlier. And you meet the action of the soul of the one you are in conflict with, by the quality of the heart. Phelim you Ketendara, and it is not disturbed. And he is not disturbed, the one who's the sovereign. He's not disturbed b'zuhuri sifatin nafs, by the manifestation of the quality of the soul. We're talking about the soul and the heart, the soul. He's not disturbed by that of his adversary. وَأَرَادَ ظُلْمَةَ نَفْسِ صَاحِبِهِ. Then he's able to turn away, arada, he's able to turn away from dhulmata, the ignorance, the oppression, the darkness, all in dhulma, of the soul of the adversary. Binuri qalbihi, by the light of his heart. I hope you're following this. I'm saying something here. I'm giving you word for word translation, but then later in our discussion, we could see what it's talking about. I'm sure you see what it's talking about. So you rise up in your soul, to a higher state of oppression, meaning you rise above the oppression and meet with the actions. And when met with the actions of the soul of the adversary with the quality of your soul, the qualities of the heart, then the manifestation of his soul does not disturb you. You're not disturbed by it. And you can turn away from that darkness, that ignorance that's in his soul by the light that's in your heart. And in the last part, he's saying, he goes on, what illam yakun lakum hada al-maqamu al-sharifu, and if it was not for you, this noble station, I can't do it. I can't do it. I am not there. I can't rise above it. My station in life is not there yet. I can't rise above it. I'm not letting it go. فَلَا تُعَاقِبُوا, then do not succeed in punishment. Al-musi'a, the evil. Al-musi'a, right? The displeasure, the offense, the offensive, the one who's being offensive. Then do not succeed in the punishment and punishing the offensive. لِسَوْرَةِ الْغَضَبِ, in terms of the Asaura, in terms of the force of anger that surrounds you, Saura. You're confined, Saura, like a fence. You're fenced in with anger, the force of anger, because it would be more than what crime is committed against you. Fatudlimu, then you will become the oppressor, the wrongdoer, the ignorant one. So if you say, I can't rise above it, what was done to me, I can't rise above it, then do not exceed the limit. And really, don't punish if you're angry. Because if you punish and you have you're boxed in with anger, you've kept all this anger in you, you have all this anger in you, then you're going to be more than they were in the crime that was against you. you're gonna create a more heinous crime than they did. Or tatawarratu, or you will you will become more involved. Bi-akbahi ar-rada'ili. You'll become more involved in the most the ugliest of vices, where F-hashihad and immoralities, if you do that. Fayufsidu, and it will corrupt halakum, your situation that you're in. Wayazidu wabalakum, and it will increase. It will increase wabala. That's one word, wabala. It will increase your evil, your harm, above wabali alajani, above the harm, the evil of the one who committed the crime against you. So I say it. Now this is coming from the verse. We go back to the verse. And all of this is said of this verse, looking at Ibn Arabi. In akaptum. And now you can write a reflection from this. Just looking at this now. In akaptum. Fa'akibu. Bimithli ma ukiptum. Fa'in sabaratum lahuwa khayru lisabirin. All of this could be said for that. Looking at Imam W.D. Muhammad, and we can find different comments that fits this logic with Imam W.D. Muhammad. I picked one here, but of course those in the class, you'll research and find others. For those wounded by tragedies and bad treatments from others, I'm sure you can see where this is at. They have their own opinion of what is right and wrong. They have their own opinion of what is justice and what is not justice. God says, never depart from justice, even when you are pressured by an enemy. To depart from justice, never depart from doing justice. I thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum.